Iran is feeling threatened. US President Donald Trump has stationed B-2 Spirit stealth bombers on a remote island in the Indian Ocean for one purpose. The US is preparing to bomb. Now, Iran is targeting a key US military base in what it calls a preemptive strike that it hopes will wipe it off the map. At least Iran says that's what it's doing. But the reality may be that Iran isn't even capable of reaching the far-flung island, never mind attacking it. It all started with a letter written by Trump. In that letter, Trump called for Iran to come to the table for direct negotiations over its growing nuclear program. For years, Iran has wanted to build a nuke that would allow it to project power over the Middle East, ensuring it becomes one of the most important voices in the region's geopolitics. It's not there, but Iran is getting closer. It's already enriching uranium up to 60% U-235, with most nukes requiring 90% U-235 to be operable. It's installing centrifuges and no longer cooperating with the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or JCPOA, set up by the US, Russia, France, and the UK to monitor its activities. Iran is getting closer to a nuclear device, and Trump happy about it. However, you could argue that this is a problem of Trump's own making. During his first stint as US president, Trump removed the US from the JCPOA, preferring instead to target Iran with a massive number of sanctions designed to cripple its economy. Trump's plan is somewhat working on the economic front. However, with the US as the key power broker in the JCPOA, remember that Russia and, to an extent, China are allied to Iran, the entire deal is falling apart. Trump wants to make a new deal. Iran has refused. And now Trump is positioning US aerial bombers on an island named Diego Garcia as a threat. Iran has to come to the table, or there will be hell to pay. The problem for Trump is twofold. First, Iran has flat out refused to open direct negotiations with the United States. The country's president, Masoud Pezeshkian, said, "We responded to the US president's letter via Oman and rejected the option of direct talks, but we are open to indirect negotiations." That's not good enough for Trump. He wants his administration on the case, just as we're seeing with Ukraine and Russia, and he believes that indirect negotiations won't help him get what he wants. Hence the reason for the bombers on Diego Garcia. If they don't make a deal, there will be bombing, Trump told NBC on March 29th. But there's a chance that if they don't make a deal, that I will do secondary tariffs on them like I did 4 years ago. Threats abound, but nothing has happened yet outside of the repositioning of US bombers, which we'll return to in a moment. The second and far bigger problem for Trump is that Iran isn't taking these threats lying down. It's now threatening an attack against the very island that the US intends to use as a launching point for its B-2 bombers. And to make matters worse, it's not just the US Iran intends to hit. It's everybody who's cooperating with the United States. On March 29th, a senior Iranian military official spoke to the UK media outlet The Telegraph. He initially said that Iran was preparing a strike. There will be no distinction in targeting British or American forces if Iran is attacked from any base in the region or within the range of Iranian missiles. When the time comes, it won't matter whether you're an American, British, or Turkish soldier. You will be targeted if your base is used by Americans. That's a stark warning, with Iranian state media adding more. Iran possesses adequate weapons for such an attack from its mainland, such as newer versions of the Khorram Shah missile and the Shahid 136B kamikaze drone with a range of 4,000 kilometers, approximately 2,485 miles. And it gets worse for Trump. Initially, Iran threatened Diego Garcia with retaliatory strikes. Now the rhetoric is changing. On March 31st, The Telegraph reported on new comments by an Iranian military official warning that Iran may have no choice but to hit the island first. Top commanders are being urged to launch preemptive strikes on the island and its base if Trump's threats have become more serious, claimed the official, before adding that discussions about the island have intensified since the Americans deployed bombers there. The situation is heating up in the Middle East, and it's starting to feel like the US and its allies are creating a powder keg that could blow up right in their face. But let's backtrack for a moment.